If you listen to the NBA, ratings for the opening round of the playoffs have been a massive success. We are up 49% over 2020. We are growing again. This is proof that LeBron James is still a massive draw in America. Well, when you do your homework like I do, and you base your opinion on facts instead of fiction, then the numbers tell a different story. Now, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you guys and say that the ratings for the playoffs have been disastrous like they were last year. They've been okay. They've been okay. They've been far from what I would call great. When you are trumpeting an average of less than 3 million viewers as great ratings, it just tells me how far the NBA has fallen. Now, before we dive into the ratings, I've got to get to something real quick. And I've got something surprising to tell you about the ratings to show you how far the NBA has fallen. But before we get into that, let me get one thing out of the way first. Earlier this week, I mentioned how great it's been to have fans back in NBA arenas. The Hawks Knicks series has been good on the court. It's been great basketball on the court, but the fans in Madison Square Garden have made it a great series. There's a real problem, though. And this has been going on for several years now in the NBA. You don't see this type of stuff I'm about to talk about in the NFL or Major League Baseball. You only see this happen in the NBA. Fans think because they paid for tickets, they get to behave however they want to behave. Wednesday night, we had two incidents involving fans negatively interacting with NBA players. The first happened in Philadelphia, which is no surprise, but happened in Philadelphia when a fan dumped a bucket of popcorn all over Russell Westbrook as he was leaving the court due to injury. The second one happened in Madison Square Garden when a fan of the New York Knicks, it looks like he spits on Trae Young. All of this happened the night after Kyrie Irving says that he had to deal with racial slurs in Boston. What the hell is going on with these people? Going to an NBA game live is a very unique experience. It's more intimate than any other sport because fans are literally on top of the players. I've sat 7 rows behind the Pelicans bench before in New Orleans, and you can literally hear the players talk. You can interact with them during the game. NBA players are starting to lose their cool with fans, and rightfully so. Once again, though, Adam Silver, worst commissioner in sports, is seemingly doing absolutely nothing about this. Russell Westbrook even called it out the other night, saying fans continue to act this way because there are no consequences. The NBA, they are already, it seems like, at war with half of their fan base because of their wokeness. We don't need any more derision between the NBA and their fans. Adam Silver has got to figure something out, and fast, because if this doesn't stop, we're going to have another Malice at the Palace type situation. Trae Young is better than me. He is better than me. He should have turned around and slapped the hell out of that dude that spit on him. See, these fans have this sense of security and entitlement in NBA arenas. They would never act this way on the street. They know they get the hell beat out of them by these NBA players. They behave this way in NBA arenas because they know the players are handcuffed. If Russell Westbrook charged after someone in the stands, he's opening himself up for a huge lawsuit in the NBA itself. We are just now getting to a point where fans are being allowed back into arenas after, 12, 15 months not being allowed to go to games. And a very small contingent is screwing it up for everybody. Adam Silver better figure this thing out because tensions are starting to boil over. The last thing the NBA needs right now is more bad publicity. All right, let's get to the NBA ratings for the first round of the playoffs, specifically the first weekend of the playoffs. I told you guys earlier this week when the NBA was bragging about the success of the Warriors-Lakers drawing over 5 million viewers, that it was going to be interesting to see if the league could maintain that momentum throughout the playoffs. So far, that has not been the case. There wasn't a game opening weekend that drew even close to the Warriors-Lakers. I also told you guys that Steph Curry and the Warriors were the main draw in that game between LeBron and the Lakers. That even though LeBron has turned off so many people, some would come back to watch Steph Curry and the Warriors and hope that they top LeBron James and the Lakers. I was proven right. The Warriors game against the Grizzlies Friday night drew nearly 4 million viewers. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, well, that's over 1 million people less than Warriors Lakers. LeBron James is the draw. Nah, not so fast. Yes, less people watched that game than Warriors Lakers. But that number, close to 4 million, proves that Steph Curry is a draw. Think of it like this. The Memphis Grizzlies are one of the most least popular teams in the NBA. They don't have a star on the roster. Ja Morant might be a mainstream superstar one day. He's not on that level yet. Even with that being the case, Grizzlies Warriors was the second most watched game on ESPN all season. Now let's get to the people who still claim that LeBron James is just a huge draw. When ratings were tanking last year with LeBron winning the finals, the NBA was full of excuses. So was the media. The NBA is going up against the NFL. We're going up against the playoffs in Major League Baseball, the World Series. We're playing in October. It's raining in New York City. Whatever excuse they could find, they came up with every excuse to explain away the low ratings. They never mentioned the one excuse, the one reason that made sense. LeBron James and his woke politics turned people away from the NBA. Now, there are no excuses to be made this year. If the NBA is truly the second most popular sport in the country, they should have no trouble garnering big ratings in the postseason. We are in the doldrums right now of Major League Baseball. Who cares about a game between the Yankees and the Orioles in the middle of May? Nobody. The NFL doesn't really start ramping up until July. There is no excuse for the NBA to not be able to draw ratings this time of year. Yet, they averaged just 2.9 million viewers over the weekend. Unopposed. There was nothing to keep people from watching the NBA. That is a 50% decrease in viewership from the Warriors-Lakers last Wednesday and a 22% decrease from Warriors-Grizzlies last Friday night. So in a matter of about 72 hours, the NBA lost half its audience. LeBron James and the Lakers, they played the Suns Sunday afternoon. Mind you, LeBron James, supposedly the most popular athlete in the country, if not the world. He is supposedly the draw in sports, the guy people tune in to watch. Lakers Suns, Sunday afternoon, averaged 4.4 million viewers. Now, that's not bad, right? It's not bad. I mean, seriously. On the surface, that's not a bad number. Until you look at the facts. You'd figure with 4.4 million viewers, LeBron James and the Lakers would be the most watched sporting event last weekend. Or at least they would be number one on Sunday. The NBA is the second most popular league in the country, right? How could a number like that not place them number one for the weekend? I'll tell you how. They were beaten by golf. Yes, LeBron James, supposedly the most popular athlete in the country, was beaten by Phil Mickelson in the PGA. Not only was LeBron beaten, he was beaten badly. It wasn't even close. The final round of the PGA Championship drew 6.6 million viewers, 33% higher than Lakers Suns, and 56% higher than the NBA's overall average last weekend. Well, that's not a fair comparison. The PGA Championship, that's a one-off event. And you're comparing it to the first round of the playoffs. Fine. Let's compare it to last year's NBA Finals. The final round of the PGA Championship on Sunday, it peaked at 13 million viewers. You could combine the audience of two games from the NBA Finals last year and not hit 13 million people. Don't let the media in the NBA fool you. They are going to try and tell you and sell you on the fact that the NBA ratings right now are good. And so far, that's just not the case. Sure, they are up 49% over last year. They are beating that number to death right now. But last year was a record-breaking low. That's nothing to brag about. In comparison to 2019, The NBA is flat, just barely an increase over 2019. And those 2019 numbers are from mid to late April, when the NBA was competing with the NFL draft. These numbers in 2021 are unopposed, and they're still low. There is one small positive for the NBA. It does appear that some people who abandoned the league last year because of the wokeness are starting to come back a little bit, which is great news. However, if I were the NBA, I would not be bragging about these ratings. It's hard to claim that you're the second most popular sports league in the country when your playoff games can't draw 3 million people on average. But look at the bright side. The NBA playoffs, they're outdrawing professional wrestling at this point. So, I mean, that's good. That's good. Now, what do you guys think of the first round playoff ratings in the NBA? Is this a good sign? Or do you think these numbers are bad, maybe just average? Also, are you watching the NBA playoffs? Sound off in the comments below. Let me know what you think. Make sure to like and subscribe. Click the notification bell to receive all notifications from the channel. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, KC_BTL84 on Twitter. I'll see you guys tomorrow.